सर्वेश्वराय नमः। ॐ ईश्वराय नमः। ॐ कल्कि अवताराय नमः।
The divine has from time to time manifested to help and guide man. In response to human suffering, prayer and seeking, the divine has manifested in 1989, the year of many dramatic changes, as the golden orb. In human beings whose consciousness can reflect the golden orb reveals its teachings, which are called the Mahavakyas. The Mahavakyas and the commentaries on them are preserved in the archives of Sri Kalki-Episode-15-English. The golden orb is the phenomenon in response to people's suffering, prayer and seeking. It is the divine guiding humanity towards fulfillment, transformation, freedom, awakening, enlightenment and God realization, irrespective of gender, religion, caste, creed, class and nationality. It responds to one according to one's faith. For the Hindus, it responds as Kalki, besides taking the form of the god they worship. Here we listen to one of the Mahavakyas. You could seek my grace to solve your problems or end your suffering. One who understands these Mahavakyas will be rid of ignorance, blessed eternally, and their family lineage will receive 16 varieties of boons. They will also be relieved of their suffering, will experience tremendous joy, and will finally be liberated from the cycle of rebirth.
सदा मन्दहासं हीरुं सौकुमार्यं समाश्वासमेगुं श्रीकल्कीस्वरूपं सदा पूजनीयं निन्पादारविन्दं चिदानन्दरूपा श्रीपद्मावतीशं सदा पूजनीयं निन्पादारविन्दं चिदानन्दरूपा श्रीपद्मावतीशं चिदानन्दरूपा श्रीपद्मावतीशम्.
Over the years, people from different walks of life, from different countries, belonging to different age groups, gathered at the feet of Sri Amma and Sri Bhagavan, seeking their guidance to solve their problems, to have their desires fulfilled, to achieve a sense of fulfillment, to be transformed, to discover freedom, to be awakened, to be enlightened, to discover oneness, and to discover and realize God. Their guidance came out as sutras, which are their teachings. That brought about a change in the way people thought and perceived and experienced their inner and their external worlds. The seekers got what they sought. Come, let's join one such interaction with Sri Bhagwan.
There are so many problems in the world today. When will all these problems get solved? One problem solved would create another one. In our present state of existence, we feel our existence only through a problem. We need problems for our psychological survival. That is why, if one problem gets solved, another one automatically emerges.
In the great books of India, an empire spoke to us, nothing small or unworthy, but large, serene, consistent, the voice of an old intelligence, which in another age and climate had pondered and thus disposed of the questions that exercise us. R.W. Emerson, American essayist, lecturer and poet. The river of India, beloved of her people round, which are intertwined her memories, her hopes and fears, her songs of triumph, her victories and her defeats. She has been a symbol of India's age-long culture and civilization, ever-changing, ever-flowing, and yet ever the same. Ganga. This was how the first Prime Minister of India had described the river Ganga. The Gangetic Plains are not just home to millions of Indians who owe their livelihood to the Ganga. The Ganga, as it originates in the Himalayas and finally merges into the Bay of Bengal, is poetry in motion. Worshipped by the Hindus as a goddess since ancient times, Ganga is a symbol of faith and liberation. The Hindus believe that a dip in the Ganga would absolve them of their sins, and to be cremated at the banks of the Ganga would give them salvation. It's a common belief that the river has self-cleansing and healing properties. In 1896, the British physician E. Hanbury Hankin reported in the French journal Annales d'Institut Pasteur that cholera microbes died within 3 hours in Ganga water, but continued to thrive in distilled water even after 48 hours. In 1927, a French microbiologist, Monsieur Flix de Herel, was amazed to find that only a few feet below the bodies of persons floating in the Ganga who had died of dysentery and cholera, where one would expect millions of germs, there were no germs at all. Another British physician, C.E. Nelson, observed that Ganga water taken from the Hooghly, one of its dirtiest mouths, by ships returning to England, remained fresh throughout the voyage. Indian environmental engineer D.S. Bhargav did an exhaustive 3-year study which shows that Ganga is able to reduce biochemical oxygen demand levels much faster than other rivers. Bhargav says that the self-purifying quality of this river leads to oxygen levels that are 25 times higher than any other river in the world. The Ganges seems to clean up suspended waste 15 to 20 times faster than other rivers. What is it that makes the water of Ganga so special? One is the presence of bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are viruses that kill bacteria. The term bacteriophage was coined by Herel. It means bacteria eater. The high levels of oxygen in the Ganga waters enable it to remain fresh over a long period of time. Not only this, when Ganga water is added to other water resources, the bacteriophage multiplies, which in turn cleanses the new water resources of bacteria. This is the reason why Indians from ancient times have been carrying Ganga Jal to their homes over long distances. This is prevalent even today.
If there is one place on the face of this earth where all the dreams of living men have found a home, from the very earliest days when man began the dream of existence, it is India. Romain Rolland, French dramatist, novelist, essayist, art historian, and mystic. We Indians are known to be very hospitable, warm and friendly people. Our culture is a family-based culture. For us, family does not mean relatives alone, but it includes a wider circle of friends and their families. One can find the roots of this culture in our scriptures. The Taittiriya Upanishad contains a verse that says, Atithi Devo Bhava, which literally means guest is equivalent to God. Tithi in Sanskrit means date. Atithi means one who does not have a date. In olden times, there were no means to communicate one's arrival to his near and dear ones. So, a person would land up at home without informing about his date of arrival. Hence, a guest was called Atithi. There is a set of 5 rituals which are to be used to welcome a guest into one's home. Dhoop. The rooms must have a pleasant fragrance to put the guest in a good mood. Earthen lamp. Fire is considered sacred and also a source of light, so that everything between guest and the host is clearly visible. Eatables. Navedya. Fruits and sweets are given to guests for refreshments. Rice. Akshata. Tilak is a symbol of warm wishes but also an expectation of well-being of the person on whom it is applied. Made from vermilion paste, tilak is put on the forehead and rice grains are placed on tilak. Flower offering. Pushpa. It symbolizes the sweet and enduring memories of the visit between the host and the guest that stay with them for several days. It is this ancient concept which makes us open and friendly. Put us in a place where we do not know anybody. We are capable of making friends. What might seem very strange to people from other cultures is very normal for us. Very often when we travel, it is easy for us to strike a conversation with our co-passengers. These conversations very often lead to the beginning of a warm relations between the passengers which carry on for life. Hence, the arrival of a guest in an Indian home is a time to celebrate, share pleasantries, and joyous moments.
Of welcoming a guest into our home and treating a guest like God. But what if God were to visit your home? How would you welcome the divine? When God enters our homes, we have elaborate rituals and celebration to welcome the divine. These rituals and celebration form the essence of our festivals. The coming week is a very auspicious one. Yes, it is Goddess Mahalakshmi who's going to bestow us with wealth next week. How are we going to welcome the Divine Mother? By lighting lots of lamps and celebrating Diwali. The word Diwali is derived from the Sanskrit word Deepavali. Deepavali is made of 2 words, Deep, which means lamp or light, and Avali means row. Deepavali or Diwali thus means row of lights. Diwali symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, as explained by the Sanskrit prayer Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. It's not just a festival of lamps, fireworks and feasts, but it's also an occasion for families to celebrate happy moments together. Hence, Diwali is celebrated not only in India but by Indian communities all over the world. The festival is celebrated in many different ways in different parts of the country. In many parts, Diwali is a 5-day celebration. The first day is known as Dhanteras, which is believed to be the day when goddess Lakshmi emerged from the ocean. It's also said to be the birthday of Dhanavantri, the god of health. On this day, people buy gold or silver, decorate their business premises, and perform Lakshmi Puja in their offices. The second day is Naraka Chaturdashi, that signifies the killing of the demon Narakasur by Lord Krishna. On this day, people get up early in the morning, have a ritualistic bath, light lamps, and burst fireworks. The third day is the main day, when goddess Mahalakshmi is worshipped in every home. People decorate their homes with many beautiful lamps and adorn themselves with new clothes and jewelry to welcome the goddess of fortune and invoke her blessings. The next day is celebrated as Bali Pratipad or Padwa. In many regions, men give gifts to their wives on this day. The fifth day is Bhai Dooj, that celebrates the loving bond between brothers and sisters by coming together and exchanging gifts. There are many legends and stories surrounding Diwali. Hindus in some regions of India associate Diwali with the legend of Yam and Nachiketa on Kartike Amavasya. The story of Nachiketa and the knowledge he received from Yam is recorded in Kathopanishad. According to Ramayana, Diwali marks the return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya with his wife Sita and brother Lakshman after his 14 years exile. In Orissa and West Bengal, people worship the goddess Kali and call the festival Kali Puja. In Braj and North Central regions, people worship Mount Govardhan. The feast of Govardhan Puja or Annakut is celebrated with 56 or 108 different cuisines offered to Lord Krishna, then shared and celebrated by the local community. In the West and certain parts of northern India, the festival marks the start of a new Hindu year.
Shiva